and people passing from both sides of the rivers. That is why it is very important for us to implement a flood control project within these specific points. Guadalupe River coordinates on the start is as shown, the latitude and the longitude, and also for the ends. The station specifically starts at 036 to 440. Here are the general notes, technical specifications, the summary of quantities, specifically highlighted, item number 8016, the removal of structures and obstruction, 901C, structural concrete, 3,000 PSI, Class A, 28 days, 902, 1A1, reinforcing steel, deformed bars, grade 40, 1701, 2, surplus common excavation for channel excavation and includes disposal, 1702, 1B, embankment from borough, 17102A, grouted riprap, Class A, 1716, 6, structural steel sheet piles furnace, and 171612 for structural steel sheet piles driven. Here shows the river plan showing proposed structures. Again, the project is situated along station 360 to 440. The structure is both uniform from right and left riverbank with a design of type B capping beam with U type 2 steel sheet piles. The steel sheet piles is length 6 meters and reinforced with a concrete dike and parapet of 0.6 meters height. Here shows the typical cross sections facing downstream. As you can see, there is a grouted riprap wall on both sides with a height of 600 millimeters and a thickness of 300 millimeters. It is made with the same material of the dike, which is a grouted riprap. There's also a 75 millimeters diameter PVC whip hole staggered at 2 meters interval for the design. The steel sheet piles is length for 600 meters and an excavation for the finished grade line, which has a interval of 0.6 meters. There's also a concrete 150 millimeter thick slab with 12 millimeter diameter reinforcing bars spaced at 400 millimeters horizontal and 300 millimeters vertical for the design of the dike. Here shows the details of the steel sheet pile cap. This is a type A with the dimensions of 0.4 and 0.5 meters. And for the steel sheet pile applications. That'll be all. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I will be discussing contract ID 25HH0039 with the title Convergence and Special Support Program Sustainable Infrastructure Projects Alleviating Gaps SIPAG Access Roads and or Bridges from the National Roads leading to major strategic public buildings facilities, construction of roads, low protection structure, Barangay Tap, Cebu City. The location of the project is at Barangay Tap with 2 sections and a net length of 65 meters. This page shows the specific locations of the project with the corresponding station limits, and the coordinates are also provided as to properly locate the project. Summary of quantities. So the usual items from A.1 to B9 are presented, and then the following items will also be used: 103.6A pipe culvert and drain excavation, Item 4041A, reinforcing steel, grade 40. Item 4051A3, structural concrete and stone masonry with an item number of 506. Their corresponding quantities are also presented in the table. So the target scope of work of the project aims to provide slow protection structure, section 1 being 30 meters and section 2 being 35 meters. So this is the technical specifications. And this is the typical section of the project. And then the specific items that will be used. That's all.
So good morning everyone. The next project to be discussed with contract ID 25HH0040 and with the title of Convergence and Special Support Program, Sustainable Infrastructure Projects Alleviating Gaps, Access Roads and/or Bridges from the National Roads leading to major strategic public buildings facilities, construction of road, Barangay Kasambagan, Cebu City, Cebu. With approved budget contract of 4,900,000 and 72 calendar days. The station limits for this project is 3,600 to 3,749 with a total net length of 149 meters. So as you can see, this is the location plan of the project. Here you can see the coordinates so that you can easily locate the project. Then, proceeding to the summary of quantities, the major scope of work for this project involves removal of actual structures obstruction, PCCP, and then roadway excavation, gravel fill, pipe culvert and drain excavation, embankment from borough, subgrade preparation, aggregate sub-base course, PCCP with a thickness of 25.25 meters and 7 days. Then for the drainage, we have reinforcing steel, structural concrete, manhole, metal frames and grating, and then concrete covers. This is the general notes. Then for the typical section, as you can see, we have 2 manholes and with the road width of 5.6 meters. Then we also have sections with both sides line canal and sections with only PCCP. And that's all for this project. Next.
Good morning. I'm here to discuss the next project, which has the contract ID 25HH0041. Project contract name 001 Ensure Safe and Reliable National Road System Asset Preservation Program, Preventive Maintenance, Tertiary Roads, Borromeo Street, with section ID S0079CB, chainage 00 to chainage 645. Located at Cebu City. Description is road rehabilitation asphalt. Approved budget for the contract is 46,060,000 with a contract duration of 100 calendar days. Source of fund is FY 2025 DPWH Infrastructure Program based on the station limits here is from chainage 00 to chainage 645, net length of 601 meters. The start of our project is at the junction of Manalili and Borromeo, near this one BDO. And the end of our project is a junction of Borromeo and Santiago Street. This is the exact coordinates of the start and the end of our project for your reference. The summary of quantities. These are the items involved in our projects. First, we have provisions of combined field, office, laboratory, and living quarters building for the engineer. Operation and maintenance of the temporary field, office, laboratory, and living quarters building for the engineer. Permits and clearances, miscellaneous surveying and staking, project billboards, signboards, occupational safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization and demobilization, removal of structures obstruction, ACP with a thickness of 0.05 meter, emulsified asphalt, bituminous concrete surface wearing course, hot laid 50 mm, steel grade 40, and structural concrete 20.68 MPa class A 28 days for the raising up of the manholes, this one. And also we have the reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white and reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings yellow. Our target scope of work for this project, the plan involves a 100 mm thick AA asphalt overlay. Existing dilapidated asphalt pavement is to be scarified by 100 mm thick. Thermoplastic pavement markings are also to be provided. The net length of the project is 601 linear meters. This is the general notes and technical specifications of the items involved in this project. This is our typical road section. We have there the 100 mm thick asphalt. And at the side, we have the existing sidewalk, curb, and gutter. We have the width of varying 11.8 meters to 43 meters. And that's all.
So we'll be proceeding to the last project to be discussed today. So the last project has a contract ID of 25HH0042 with the title of 001 Ensure a Safe and Reliable National Road System Asset Preservation Program, Preventive Maintenance, Tertiary Roads, F. Cabahog Extension or F. Cabahog Bridge with the section ID of 0042CB, chainage 488 to chainage 1166 Cebu City. So this is located at F. Cabahog Extension with station limits chainage 488 to chainage 1166 with total length of 650 meters. So this is the location plan of the project. It is located near Sarosa Hotel and ends near Sykes. So we also have the coordinates for your reference. The main scope of work for this project is removal of structures or obstruction, ACP 0.05 meters thick, removal of actual structures or obstruction, sidewalk 0.10 meters thick, removal of actual structures or obstruction, curb and gutter, and emulsified asphalt, bituminous concrete surface wearing coarse hot laid 50 mm. We also have paint for the curb and gutter, reconditioning drainage structures, curb and gutter. Then we also have sidewalk. Then lastly, reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings, white and yellow. This is the general notes for this project. And this is the typical roadway section with a road width of 12.5 meters and sidewalk of 1 meters both sides. So that's all for this project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, planning engineers. Are there any questions from our lone visitor this morning? Ma'am Laarni, do you have any questions? Okay, from our online viewers, do we have? So, do you have any clarifications for the back members?
Katong kuan, item number 1, kato bitawng sa building, i-grace up ninyo sa 450 mm. Di ba compromise ang existing roofing? Ipakita gud to ang inyohang kuan. Di ba existing covered court man na siya, no? Engineer? Nya mo sakam gud mo og at least almost half a meter. So basin niya og ang clearance bitaw ninyo. Kana ba?
Maglunop siya diri sa sud, sir. So gi-measure na mo ang katong sa gate niya sa tubangan dire. Here sa entrance gate, it's about 250 from the slab ang gate niya. So naka kuan siya nalo balig ang tubig kay mag-overflow jud diri sa sud sa slab kay 250 man gikan ang sa gawas sa road gisa sa slab ang ilang difference. So ang suggest ni Sir Drew mag-remove og 100 mm sa ang existing na slab, then 350 widths, gravel fill and embankment, then sa 250 na gikan sa gate, mag up og 100 mm for new slab on grade level.
So ang inyong existing roofing apektado dili ra.
Dili ra.
Mumubo lang ang inyong covered court. Ang height
Mabubo
ninyo.
na siya. Mm.
So inyo na na-discuss sa end user nga inana ang may tabo kay baskitan man gud na.
Mm.
Ang igduwa-duwa ba, ighapos-hapos sa bula,
Yeah.
mubo na kayo, basin niya buhonan na, isaka na po, i-extend na po ng roofing. Na-discuss na ninyo ang kana nga cons,
Yes,
saka
yes,
kana
sir.
nga,
Kay since sa katong existing gate nila 250 man to 100 na may ang slab raman ang ni saka, sir.
I mean,
100
ang
mm.
roofing,
Ang
mga
roofing.
engineer. Kay gikan sa slab nimo, sa existing nga slab nimo karon padong sa roofing, mo na ang standard height na to sa covered court, di ba?
Oo.
So, ayon lang sa i-mind ang gate nga inyong giapas nga elevation. Ang concern is from existing slab padong sa roofing mo na atong standard height na to. So, kung musaka ka og almost half a meter, basin niya ang clearance na pod niya ba? Nya. Oh, ikuan lang daw if wala basigwa ninyo ma-discuss with the end user ba nga mo na mahitabo bitaw basin niya for future or inyo na ba or isaka na pod ang roofing na sad niya mo extend na sad mo og height sa column which is basin niya og mo dako ang problema. No.
Actually, nag-site validation man sir. And nanawag mi sa kapitan. And iyang priority, kanalagi daw maglunop ang sulod. Ang the only solution jud kay ang slab kay ipasaka jud sa iyang gate. Bisag 100 mm lang. And kabaw na po ang kapitan na mao na among gi-propose niya.
Sige, pero muna as a suggestion lang pod as a designer pod kay engineer man sad ta. Try to kaning discuss with the end user nga ma-compromise niya iyang height sa iyang covered court. No? Kay musakam go siya half a meter, taas-taas ba ng half a meter ha? Taas ba na siya. So basin niya di na niya makaduwag tarong ang mga manuwa diha kay bawa ka kanang basket labay-labay ra bula. Masangko niya na sa atop niya. So
Yes, sir.
diha na sa niya ang problema.
So back to kung ano sad niya ka unsa ana bitaw. So try to discuss lang sa end user.
Yes, sir.
Basta mo na siya cons sa inyong kuan gi-propose o inyong gi-validate nga at least kay kana aware ang end user ba kay basig moingon pod niya nga wa man miingnas DPWH good ngay naan ang mahitabo.
Yeah.
Or di siya ka picture out bitaw kay ang concern is ang loan no praman, no?
Yes, sir.
So kana lang ha. I-try to communicate with the end user lang para at least ma-discuss sa kanang scenario bitaw
Yes,
sa usa ka covered court, ha?
Yes, sir.
Sige, thank you.
Okay, some more? Apailain, Japs. Na mong na-observe sa flood control, sa roads. Okay, so the next we'll just have a voiceover on the reminders of our prospective bidders, no, during the submission of some the bidding documents. Okay, so Mario.
Good morning once again. For the additional information for the bidders, for the documents to be submitted, these following requirements will be discussed in the preparation of the documents. First, for the technical proposal, the basic eligibility requirement during the submission of bids in the PhilJEPs, the PhilJEP certificate of registration and membership must be current and updated in accordance with the provisions of the IRR. And its registration is proper and relevant to the particular type of procurement. In lieu of the Class A eligibility documents uploaded and maintained current and updated in the PhilJEPs. Bidders are required to submit their PhilJEPs certificate of registration during bid submission. Next, if ang bidder is not enrolled in CWA, the bidder must attach validated PCAB license and registration, statement of all ongoing and completed government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, whether or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid, within the period provided in the bidding documents, given emphasis as per Department Order number 36 series of 2015. For this, strong emphasis is given to this matter since this will be strictly revalidated and checked upon during the detailed bid evaluation. Non-compliance of this is subjected for sanction per DEO number 17 series of 2015 under the 3-strike policy report. Next, statement of single largest completed contract or SLCC similar to the contract to be bid at least 50% of the ABC. Net financial contracting capacity or NFCC computation and statement of total assets and liabilities. Next is the mayor's permit or business permit must be present. Tax clearance, audited financial statement, duly received by BIR at least 2 years from bidding date, income tax return or ITR. Next is for DTI for sole proprietorship and CDA for cooperatives. For a corporation, there should be a secretary's certificate or board resolution duly notarized indicating the authorized and designated signing official. Next, JVA, if applicable, which requires special PCAB license and registration with percentage of 2 contractors. For the bid security, the contractor can choose among the applicable forms of bid security, which the duration is 120 calendar days per RA 9184. The bidder shall submit a bid security declaration or any form of bid security in an amount not less than the required percentage of the ABC in accordance with the following schedule. Cash or cashier's check issued by the Universal of Commercial Bank, which is 2%. Now, bank draft guarantee or a revocable letter of credit issued by a universal or commercial bank, provided, however, that it shall be confirmed and authenticated by a universal or commercial bank if issued by a foreign bank, which is 2%, surety bond upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security, which is 5%. Any discrepancy in the amount, even a centavo, means non-compliant. If the validated exceeds 120 calendar days, the contractor should renew and submit a new bid securing declaration or BSD, considering that all legal, technical, and financial documents should still be valid during award. Number 4, bid security in prescribed form for the amount and validity period. For project requirements, the bidders should attach the organizational chart for the contract to be bid, including the list of contractors' key personnel, to be assigned to the contract with their complete qualification data and affidavit of commitment to work on the project of the contractor's key technical personnel, which there must be no duplication of key functions wherein assignments of several projects of key personnel is strongly discouraged, because it was found out that some contractors have one project engineer with multiple ongoing contract projects. The 5 key technical personnel must have experience similar to the contract project to be bid at least 50% of ABC, or as follows: project manager is not necessary a licensed civil engineer. However, the experience should have minimum of 5 years experience of same position and 3 years experience of similar position. Project engineer must be duly licensed civil engineer, should be current and updated with a minimum of 5 years experience of same position, 3 years experience of similar position. For the materials engineer, must be a licensed civil engineer with minimum of 5 years experience of same position, 3 years experience of similar position, duly DPWH accredited materials and quality control engineer. Foreman with minimum of 5 years experience of same position and 2 years experience of similar position. For the safety and health officer with a certificate duly accredited by DOLE as safety officer. The bidder should have a safety officer 3 or SO3, regardless of amount and category, wherein the requirements and appointment, designation, and job description as safety officer. If the company doesn't have a safety officer, they should attach a pledge of commitment to undertake trainings for 48 hours. Additional info, they were advised not to manufacture the experience of their key technical personnel just to suit with the requirements. All the licenses and credentials of the key technical personnel must be current and updated. These attachments should be visible and have a clear copy. The BAC advised that the pledged project engineer for the project should not be conflicting with other projects, considering that the supervision will be difficult, and this is one of the reasons that will cause negative slippage. A project engineer can handle within the same jurisdiction but outside is quite questionable for his capacity to supervise. List of contractors, major construction, and lab equipment units owned, leased, or under purchase agreements must be supported by proof of ownership or lease or purchase and certification of availability of equipment from lessor vendor for project duration. Certification of minimum laboratory equipment duly certified by any DPWH office as per DEO number 80 series of 1990 and reiterated for strict compliance as per DO number 138, series of 2015, DO 11, series of 2017, to ensure that the said certification is current and updated, which has only 1 year validity and still subject for post-qualification. Construction Safety and Health Program per DO 129, series of 2014. The preparation of the Safety and Health Program is component of the technical proposal as per department order, of which the limitation is 1 safety officer within limited jurisdiction on the limits not exceeding 50 million. However, per project must have 1 first aider, and it is not necessary approved considering that this will be resubmitted if they will be awarded with the project. The compliance of construction safety and health is now a law as per Republic Act 11058 dated August 2018. The safety officer 3 should be on site since this is one of the requirements during inspection of the personnel from DOLE. There will be a penalty if the safety officer is not around during the inspection of DOLE. The company should also conduct monthly, quarterly, yearly report as one of the OSH requirement in construction industry. The bidders were advised to prepare their own construction safety and health program. For the omnibus sworn statement in the form, the omnibus sworn statement has 9 items. They should comply with a standard form wherein, in the absence of 1 item, it will be rated as failed. For the affidavit of site inspection, inspection of the project site is encouraged in order to validate the site prior to dropping of bids to avoid future problem, because the contractor has the responsibility to complete the project once awarded to them. For the financial proposal, this must be included also the bid form, the bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimates including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid. So mo na ang dapat sa inyong detailed no, na agin na diha ang materials, ang labor ug ang material. Ang lamsam na to no, mo na atong gikuan pod before, di mo gid malikayan ang lamsam no, kay per item na aman ang lamsam. Usually na ni sa mga building na nga projects, maka duol lang gid mo sa planning, pwede mo mangayo og breakdown sa lamsam no, for kuan pod na siya for smooth implementation sa project no. So makaduol lagid mo unsay isud sa lamsam kay di man pare sa ubang item nga per square na anadayo no, kay per square man lamsam compromise pa nagdaghan kay materials. So quarterly, monthly cash flow and payment schedule must be present also in the financial proposal. Failure to attach any requirement or any missing, incomplete, or patently insufficient documents in the above mentioned is a ground for outright rejection for the bid and will fall as non-compliant. All documents to be submitted must be current and updated, otherwise it will be rated as failed. The technical and financial proposal must be in A4 size, mo na itong standard sa atong bid documents, well paginated with duly authorized signatures and book-bounded to avoid insertion. Further, the authorized liaison officer will be the one to drop the bids. The bidders will also advise to be responsible to their bid submitted in accordance with the checklist, and their technical and financial proposals should have proper pagination based on the number or order if the checklist including proper sequencing of documents. Their submitted documents should be done accordingly. If the legal A documents are attached, much better. However, if the documents are expired, attach receipt of proof that the renewal is on process. The bid documents of the bidders must follow the completeness of the bid, both in form and substance. The bidders were advised not to recycle legal documents of documents attached in the previous submission of bids which have signatures and countersigns of the back members. It must be all original signatures attesting certified copies. Affidavits must be original signature. For the joint venture, whatever guidelines complied by one bidder should also be complied by the other bidder. For example, if one has a PhilJEPS registration, then the other one should also attach their PhilJEPS registration. Leaving blanks on the bid proposal for the unit bid price of total cost per item is considered failed, except indicated as zero, or which is understood as free to the government. Bidders with lowest bid during the opening of bid is not a guarantee to be awarded. Why? Kay subject for evaluation pa man ang inyong gidrap. All bid documents are still subject for bid evaluation and post-qualification prior to be declared as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. The bidders are given 3 days upon bidding for file for a motion for reconsideration. The BAC emphasized on the deadline of the receipt by the BAC of bids, which is 10 a.m. only, as stipulated in the invitation of bid. Kung mulapas na sa 10 a.m., so dili na makadrop ang bidders. No, ato ginang gistrikto og maayo, i-close na nato ang atong hulganan diri beyond 10 a.m. in the morning. For the criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award, the BAC will determine the eligibility of the bidders based on the PhilJEPS registration on their legal aid documents, which should be maintained current and updated, including that of the Civil Works application or the CWA, which focuses on the NFCC, work experience of single largest completed contract, similar to the contract project for bidding at hand. The BAC will ascertain based on the checklist of the required documents to be submitted using pass or fail criterion during the preliminary and detailed bid evaluation. In addition, after the opening of bids as per 2016 revised implementing rules and regulation under section 32.2, the BAC will conduct a detailed bid evaluation of all the bids using non-discretionary criteria wherein it requires the completeness of bid. Bids not addressing or providing all the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as not responsive, but specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free of the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. In case of discrepancies between bid prices and figures and in words, the latter shall prevail, no? Ang words ang mo prevail. Total price per item and unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item. Unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the same will be applied to the detailed checking evaluation of the technical. The same will be applied, no, sa katong checking evaluation of the proposal. Then the bidder rated as the lowest calculated bidder will undergo post-qualification. Once post-qualified, the bidder will be determined as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. All bidders are of equal footing thereby. Bidders are advised to include all taxes, other fiscal and duties as mandated by law in all items of work which details are shown in the detailed estimates. For the post-qualification, the bidders were advised to read Department Order Number 127, Series 2018, and other issuances relative to this matter since the BAC will be very keen and strict on the conduct of post-qualification process, considering that the concerned officials or employees, including the concerned BAC members, will be liable to the administrative penalties if this directive will not be followed. As per DO number 127, the contractor will not be awarded with a certain project if it has a negative slippage of at least 15% in a single contract or at least 10% in 2 or more contracts. During post-qualification, even though the contractor is the lowest bidder, still it is subject for further verification to ensure the compliance of the requirements of the contract. With that, the office will be sending a letter being the lowest calculated bid, which within 5 days from the receipt of notice, the bidder must submit the latest income and business tax return and other appropriate licenses, permits, and other legal documents required and stated in the bidding document and as stipulated in the said communication. If not complied within 5 days, the next calculated lowest bidder will be notified. So, you're only given 5 days, no? On the other hand, the office will be sending a letter of inquiry on the committed failure on the bidding at hand. Thus, this communication must be acted upon the contractor on the required time frame. Otherwise, without action taken, it will be relatively resort to sanction, which will fall on the 3-strike policy, which a tantamount of blacklisting, suspension of the contractor. If the bidder will commit 3 mistakes in a year, then they will be recommended for further sanctions. Moreover, the qualification and experience of the key technical personnel is subject for verification as part of the post-qualification process. They are allowed to replace their key personnel technical, which they have to write a letter 14 days prior to the proposed replacement, duly approved by the HOPE of the office. The BAC will be strict on the compliance of the equipment as part of post-qualification. It is stated as per DO number 127, Series 2018. The contractor can attach in the proposal the list of equipment or agreement to purchase or proposal to rent or agreement on the delivery of the equipment so that the contractor will be assessed as compliant in terms of equipment requirement. The OR and CR must be present, Also, it must be current and updated, not expired. The equipment should be calibrated and accredited, and the registration should be current and updated. Whatever is stipulated in the BDS should be followed. An inspection will be conducted on the verification of equipment during other documents to be evaluated. Also, to be verified during post-qualification is the set of equipment pledged by the bidder. The bidder should in the submitted bid location of the equipment where they can be inspected. Ang atong DPWH members kay mo inspect na sa inyong equipment pledge, If any piece of equipment is not in the specified location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified as per Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012. 10 calendar days upon receipt of the NOA or Notice of Award, the contractor must comply the following. Notice of Award with the bidders signed for a joint venture, contractor's PCAB license, special joint venture license, and joint venture agreement. Performance security in any of the forms specified in the instruction of bidders. The performance security shall be in the amount not less than the required percentage of the total contract price in accordance with the following schedule. Cash or cashier's manager's check issued by a universal or commercial bank, which is 10%. Bank draft or guarantee or a revocable letter of credit issued by a universal or commercial bank, provided, however, that it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a universal or commercial bank if issued by a foreign bank, which is 10%. Surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security, which is 30%. No? So, ang sa inyong construction methods, kay naputay form, no, follow lang ta sa form. Ang construction schedule in the form of per CPM diagram or precedence diagram and bar chart with S-curve, cash flow, contractors all risk insurance or CARE to be submitted during the period required on the submission of the required documents in the award of contract. However, the effective date is on the effectivity of the contract. Latest income tax and business returns duly stamped and received by BIR and duly validated with the tax payments made. Tax clearance from the BIR to prove full and timely payment of taxes. For a local contractor, certification under oath stating that a contractor is free and clean of all tax liabilities. For a foreign bidder, for the summary.
Okay, so I think that's all. So this pre-bid conference is hereby adjourned. Good morning once again.